Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Tino, the person behind Novel Principles. Thanks again for tuning in. If you're new or if you're coming back, I really appreciate it. Today, I'm going to be speaking about credit score and why credit score matters. So just before we go into all those juicy things, I just want to address two things immediately. So when it comes to credit, guys, there's good credit and there's bad credit. So bad credit, an example of bad credit is, you have a credit card and then you're buying things which you can't afford.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Afford, maybe go for a shopping spree, and then you can't pay back that money on the agreed terms. Good credit, on the other hand, is, for instance, a loan, low interest loan for investment. So for instance, if you want to buy a house, it's usually a balance of credit and also some equity. So the credit side usually comes from a bank. It's usually for a certain amount of time, typically 25 years in the UK. And usually if you have good credit, it's usually a low interest loan as well. So that's an example of good credit. So why credit score matters. So basically your credit score is your financial footprint, and this is how financial companies such as banks decide whether or not you are you qualify for them to lend you money. And the higher your score, the less risk they see you. The lower your score, the more risk they see in you. So it's in your own benefit to have a really high credit score. And today I'm going to give you 5 things which you can do almost immediately to help you on your journey on improving your credit score, so that you can enjoy the many perks that a good credit score brings. So things like a wide range of products and services, including loans, like I mentioned, credit cards as well, mortgages as well, for instance, to buy a house. You can also enjoy good interest rates on those loans, and also more generous credit limits as well. So essentially, having a good credit score opens the entire world to you.
Oh yes, Daddy.
Even the richest of people leverage credit to get what they want in life. So those are the reasons that a good credit score is really important, guys. And today in the UK here, there's 3 the largest agencies, CRAs, but I'm just going to focus on one called Experian. I'll put the link down below just for example purposes. So the one I'm going to focus on again is called Experian. So we're going to use their metrics just to give you a rough guide on what they consider fair, good, and also excellent. So from Experian, a fair credit score is between 721 to 880. So that's a fair. And then a really good rating is 881 to 960. That's a good credit score. And then we have an excellent credit score according to Experian, which is 961 to 999. So 999 is the highest that you can get from Experian as your score. So if you have that, then you have an excellent credit score. So those are the 3 main, I guess, metrics that you fall under. So it's either fair, good, or excellent. And yeah, now I'm just going to speak about some criterias or some factors which can harm your credit score as well, just before I go into the 5 main things of how you can improve your credit score. So just going to list a couple of things here of why your credit score might be a lower score. One reason could be a history of late payments or missed payments. So guys, make sure you pay any outstanding balances on time or immediately. Another thing could be going over your credit limit. So if you have your bank, maybe your bank card, you go over the limit, or you go over the money that you actually have in the bank. So that's also another thing that can harm your credit limit. Bankruptcies as well, that's also another one. Moving house too often as well, believe it or not, that's also another one. Not being on the electoral roll. So the electoral roll is where you'll be able to vote here in the UK. So you need to be registered. So if you're not registered to vote, that's also another thing that can potentially harm your credit score. But yeah, there are a number of things here, guys, but those are just some of the things that may harm your credit score. Okay, now let's go into how you can actually build your credit score. So the 5 things which I'm going to recommend, which you can almost do immediately. So let's get right into it. So number 1, get on the electoral roll. So it's quick and easy to register on the electoral roll, even if you live at home, even if you live in a shared accommodation. Companies use this information to confirm your name, your address are up to date, and it's crucial to building up your credit history. Tip number 2, open a bank account. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but guys, open a bank account if you don't have one already. Having a bank account and managing it well shows to companies that you're financially responsible, and it also starts to build your credit history positively. And if you have an overdraft, stay well below your overdraft. As a rule of thumb, don't go 25%. So just pay off immediately or as soon as you can. But tip number 3, get a credit card if you can, and if you trust yourself, if you're disciplined, get a credit card. If you open the bank account and you're managing it well, the bank might also be willing to give you a credit card. So that's a good starting point. Managing just your debit bank account, your normal bank account, that will potentially lead into a credit card account as well. Tip number 4, take out small form of credit. So this might be a mobile phone contract that you're paying every month. It could be maybe £20, £30 a month on a regular basis. And they're usually easier to get accepted than credit cards, actually, funnily enough. But they can also still demonstrate your ability to pay your bills in time and show banks that you are financially responsible by being able to pay your phone bill, for instance, on a consistent basis. So every month on time without missing your payments. So that's also another tip. Tip number 5. So this one is about managing your household bills well. So look after your utilities. So utilities include things like water, gas, electricity, and these can help to build out your credit history and show companies that you are, again, responsible. Even if your rent payments can boost your score, believe it or not, provided you pay them on time and in full. Guys, so those are the 5 tips which I recommend that everyone does immediately if you can. So I'll just repeat them again in the summary. So number 1, register to vote. That's number 1. Number 2, open a bank account. Number 3, get a credit card if you can. Number 4, take out some small form of credit, for instance, a phone bill, your mobile phone bill or your internet bill, something that's on a recurring basis, potentially even your gym membership as well on a monthly basis, for instance. That's also another way. And then tip number 5 was manage your household's utility bills well. So that's including your water, gas, electricity. Again, that's typically on a monthly or quarterly basis. And you're also expected to pay these on time as well. So that's also another thing that can show companies that you are responsible. Now, as well as the 5 tips which you just mentioned, which are basically about building your credit score, you also need to protect your credit score to ensure that it stays healthy, and you keep on top of everything. So my tips on keeping your credit score healthy is, number 1, set up direct debit payments. So late payments, guys, are not a good thing. Late payments, missed payments, they really hit you in the back. Don't miss your payments, and this can directly lower your credit score. May stay on your report for up to 6 years as well. So what that means is that every time if you miss your payments on your credit card, that can stay on your records for up to 6 years. So every time you go to a lender and you need some credit and they do a credit check on you, that you missing that one credit card payment or whatever it is, or late payment, that will come up on your records, and that could potentially be something that's going to stop you from being able to get whatever that you need to get. So guys, that even just missing a late payment will be on your records for up to 6 years. So make sure you set up a direct debit so you don't have to remember, so it's all automatic and it's done for you. Number 2 on how to protect your credit score is limit your credit application. So if you're applying for credit score, if you're applying for credit to banks every month, that obviously means that you don't have enough money basically to sustain yourself. So don't apply for credit too frequently. Give it some time. I think a good rule of thumb is if you need to apply for credit for whatever reason, even if it's for investing reasons, a good amount is about to space it out. So let's say 3 to 6 months. As a rough guide, that's probably a good starting point. Anything more frequent than that is not going to do you any good actually, because it's going to spook the banks and maybe potentially think, make them think like you need money all the time to sustain yourself. You need credit all the time to sustain yourself. So so limit your credit applications, guys. Then the last one is only use a small percentage of your credit limit. So no more than 25% of your available credit. So if you have £500 limit, don't spend more than £125 on it, guys. Just try not to get to the limit, as if possible. So 25% is kind of a good base point there. So those are my 3 tips again to protect your credit score. Number 1, set up direct debit payments so you don't have to remember yourself. Number 2, limit your credit applications, guys. Don't apply for credit too often. Number 3, only use a small percentage of your credit limit. Typically 25% is usually a good starting point. So for example, if you have £500 credit, only use £125 and then pay back in time and move on and so on. Guys, I hope that helps. So guys, that's a bit about how to build up your credit score and also how to protect your credit score. So I hope that helps you guys. And if you have any questions, let me know. Some of the numbers that I was referring to are from Experian, and I'll put the link down below. If you like this video, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Hope it helps. Cheers.